this video, I've decided I'm going to actually talk about something I've been wanting to talk about for a good while, and I wanted to update this. So, this is for you that want to go to South Korea and you're looking at dating over there. If you've dated already in South Korea and you want to input on here, go right ahead and do so. But this is again for the newbies out there. So, I am someone that has lived in South Korea for about 8.5 years, right? And throughout my time in the country, I have had a chance to date women in Korea, Korean women, and women from other countries. But this topic is going to be about dating Korean women. It's so funny. I didn't think I would actually make a video like this again because this video actually almost got me fired from my teaching job in Korea. But since I don't plan on teaching in Korea ever again, I figured, you know what? I'm going to help out someone that wants to go to Korea, and so that they don't have to worry about making this type of video. So I'm gonna go right into talking about dating in South Korea, things that you have to look out for. So, but again, if you've dated in Korea, or if you have any questions, leave a comment down below because I want to hear what you have to say and talk to you about this. So let's get right into it. So first off, we're gonna talk about the dating age in South Korea. So generally, most women do not start dating until they're in university or even after university. And the reason is like that is because by the time most Korean girls or women when they are in elementary school, like we're starting like at 5 years old, they have to do anything and everything school related because by the time they get to junior high and by the time they get to high school, they have to take exams for both junior high and high school. So you can imagine them being extremely busy from the time they're very young. And many times I feel sorry for the kids because they they have to start preparing for these exams so young. And even when they're that young, right? What they do is that they go to their regular school and they end at a regular time, and then after school they have to go to what's called a hagwon. And a hagwon is a private academy, and there's various different types of hagwons. The most common ones are English hagwons, and then they also have some for some kind of musical instrument or doing something to make them productive. And this is all across East Asia. I found it's the same in Japan, it's the same in China, and it's the same in South Korea. It's something that the boomers had created because they realized that, oh, the kids have too much free time. We need to make them do something, which is asinine, but not my country. I can't really say anything on that. So because of that, right, a lot of these young girls they don't have really the mentality to know how to date. They base everything on dating from what they see from, I guess, say like an older sibling or from what they see in movies, in TV shows, K dramas, what have you, right? And so because of that, what I've come to understand is that you have many people, you have many Korean women at that young of an age, right? They're kind of socially awkward or ignorant when it comes to dating in general. I mean, and you have like and there are two spectrums of that. You have your so-called good Koreans, the ones that have done everything society has told them to, and who have no experience in dating whatsoever. And then you have your bad Koreans who do have experience, and most of the time, those are the ones that have either that were born in Korea but they moved overseas and was able to get more experience, or the ones that have just that forget everything regarding Korean culture in general, and then just try to figure stuff out. One thing that is kind of annoying, well, actually, kind of nothing. It's very annoying, is the fact that sex education is not a thing in South Korea. It's not. Like, well, it is, but not in the sense that we have it here in the USA. See, here in the USA, from like 12, 13 years old, we learn about the birds and the bees. We learn about practicing safe sex, using condoms, et cetera, et cetera. In South Korea, kids are taught that, oh, sex is evil, sex is a very bad thing. They scare people into not having sex. And if you want proof of this, I made a video right up here where I asked Korean women about sex in the country in general. And you see that there's that massive divide again between foreign-born Koreans and Koreans born in Korea. And since there is that divide, dating can be very awkward. In fact, let's talk about dating. So, dating in South Korea is still extremely traditional, which is not a bad thing. And if anything, if the United States actually adopted some of the old school methods, things will work out. Dating wouldn't be so bad in this country. So, but yeah, it's still very traditional in South Korea. What you're going to do is that you're going to meet. You'll have a chance to meet up with a girl through her friends, through a language exchange, at a bar, even out in public. Now, I made an earlier video where I asked if Korean women are easy, and I made a mistake. I wouldn't so much say that they're easy, but I would say that dating and meeting up with someone is far easier in South Korea than it would be here in the USA. And it's through those methods over there. Plus through other methods like going to church and going to a church, or doing sogating, which is blind dating, or they have meetings where they have literally groups of single people meet up together and they find someone that clicks, which is actually really neat because it kind of gets rid of those barriers. It kind of gets rid of that whole blurred lines nonsense. Online dating is a thing too, but it's usually just for either hookups or for something serious. What I've found is that Tinder is more for hookups, while Instagram can actually could lead to something serious. Like I know someone that actually got married through meeting his girl on Instagram. Kind of slide into the DMs, or she slid into her his DMs, and boom, it worked. So, but but what I can say though, for if you're a white guy looking at this, I'll tell you right now, it is very easy for you to get with someone. It is super easy, right? Like because it's super easy because let's say you go out with a group of Korean dudes and they're doing like a meeting and they'll use you as a means to get girls to come over. But the bad thing about it though, at least for those dudes, is the fact that those girls would probably want to see you more because you're different. And this is especially true if you're in the countryside. Black man, I of course I have not forgotten about you. You know, we can actually get something too, believe it or not. You know, you may see a lot of other videos over there talk about how hard dating is, but black men, it is not true because there are a lot of Korean men out there that do like black men. I mean, with the rise of all these black YouTubers living in Korea, getting with Korean women, they're showing this is a lot easier now than what it was years ago. But the thing is, though, a lot of it also comes from having clout because clout is a hell of a drug. But a lot of times, you don't even have to have clout. And and I have a friend, he's Puerto Rican. He was able to date Korean women pretty easily. Well, he's a jack dude, and he always stood on business, and that worked out in his favor. But the thing you have to look out for is if you're dating someone that actually likes you versus dating someone that only wants to date you because they think, oh, it's so cool and exotic, right? You want to look out for foreign hunters because you don't want to date those type of women. Like I'm gonna tell you, they will make your life a living hell doing so. But through it all, the one thing that will give you a major advantage is if you can speak the language. Now, if you get with someone that can speak English, great. But if you speak the language, you will increase your chances date a wide variety of women. And but even if you can't speak Korean all that well, um, you're gonna be with someone that can teach you. You can learn through being with her. You'll learn pretty doggone fast. In fact, I've seen dudes learn Korean much faster by dating a Korean woman instead of going over to spending a lot of money and going to a class. Next, and speaking of dating, this is going to be pretty hard to talk about, but it needs to be said: abortion. So, abortion in South Korea is illegal, super illegal. In fact, there are a lot of things that the country does that kind of restrict women on with their reproductive rights. And, you know, regardless of how you feel about that, it's just I'm just saying things just based on what I've experienced, what I've seen. And a lot of ways that women will kind of circumvent that is they'll either fly to another country that where it's legal to get it done, or they will give birth to the baby, but they'll drop the babies off at a certain facility. And a lot of and things like that really makes me feel bad for the children that give birth because in South Korea, being an orphan is more or less a death sentence on your life because no one knows who you are, no one knows what your family background is like, and South Korea is a country where you get judged on a lot of stuff. The people get judged on stuff. So with that in mind, and the big thing that they'll get judged on is having a child out of wedlock, especially if it's from a foreign guy, especially if it's from a black man too. I'm keeping it real. But what and but one thing to keep in mind if you do decide you want to go in Korea and a mistake does happen, um, getting something like Plan B is not a thing in South Korea. Women can get it, but it has to be prescribed to them. So three things to keep in mind. Uh, you either have to bring Plan B from your home country, or you have to know someone that has military access and you get some over there if they sell it, or you have to get lucky and be with a nurse who can get it right off the bat because they don't have to go through the whole methods. I'm just saying. But to end this on a more positive note, let's talk about the cultural differences in dating. So, women are women, no matter where you go. You have to be fun. You have to be able to give her an experience that she's never gotten with any other guy. And as a foreigner, it's possible for you to do so. Heck, if anything, if she likes you enough, she'll probably even show you around. But you still want to do your research and look for things yourself, just so that you don't make her do any work. Um, Me being who I am, I'm a tall foreigner. I'm 6'1" or 187 centimeters, and being a black guy, that's good in it. That's good in and of itself. But you still have to do more. You don't want to just use your looks to really get you anywhere because it won't take you very far. All right. But the great thing about South Korea is you can always start off small. You can always start off doing a coffee date. But most people they do dinner dates. And a great thing about a dinner date in South Korea is going out to eat is for two people is very cheap. You don't have to spend a whole lot. You don't even have to go to a really fancy place, right? You can do Korean barbecue pretty doggone cheap. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind with dating is if she really likes you, she'll end up paying for the meal and she'll expect you to pay for everything else. Now, of course, you as a man, traditional gender roles still apply in the country. It's like she'll expect you to pay, but if she really does like you and she's willing to pay, that's a great sign. But if both of y'all end up going Dutch, and that just means the date was a bust and you got to go your separate way. Now, another great thing about dating culture, about the cultural difference, is you can text a woman multiple times just to check up on her, and that lets her know that you really do care about her. The whole 3 day rule thing does not apply in South Korea. Of course, you don't want to do it too excessive with it, but you can at least let her know. Say, hey, I'm thinking about you, I care about you, et cetera, et cetera. But this is something that you'll have to really play with and learn as you go. When you do go out, you are expected to dress nice. You represent her, she represents you. She's going to dress her absolute best for you, and you're going to have to dress your absolute best for her. So that being said, for all you dudes out there wearing your pants sagging and stuff, you don't want to do that because she's not going to like it. She's going to tell you to go back inside and dress up properly. I've seen people go out on dates where the man and the woman are dressed up nice. And one thing to keep in mind is that whenever you're out with a lady, she's gonna and she has to go to the bathroom, she's gonna expect you to carry her purse. Now, you can not choose to not carry it if you want to, but just know that she's probably gonna be made fun of or looked at because like, oh, her boyfriend doesn't carry her purse. Me personally, I've never done that. I tell her straight up, I say, nope, I'm not doing that. That's just for me. But you can do whatever you want to do and kind of gauge the situation. Now, living in South Korea is cheap, but dating can be expensive depending on where you're at. Like if you're in Seoul, especially in Gangnam, yeah, it can get pretty expensive. If you're outside of Seoul, outside of the country, out in the countryside or in a smaller city, it's not that bad. In fact, you can even do something as simple as just go to the beach. If you're down in, like, say, Busan, you just go to the beach. You can go to Hyundai Beach. You're going to see a lot of people out there. And they even have festivals for anybody, no matter where you're at. There's always something going on in South Korea. So you can always look for stuff to do for free or that costs very little money. And she really won't see you as being too cheap and everything for doing stuff like that because a lot of people over there, they understand. They understand. They know some things. And the final thing, and this is probably the most important and probably the most annoying aspect of dating in South Korea, is the curfew. So many younger women, even after they graduate university, are even probably in their mid to late 20s. A lot of them, they still live at home with mommy and daddy. And because they live at home with their parents will put them on a curfew just because they want them to come home safe. Many times these girls have a curfew of either 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. It's going to be an annoying thing that you have to deal with. But the silver lining to that is if she likes you enough, he will break curfew for you. He sees that if she breaks curfew for you, then you are worth it to her. And that basically means don't mess this up. So, but if she breaks curfew for you, you're worth it to her. And it can be something that can last for a very long time as long as you do what you need to do. So that's all that I have on dating in South Korea. If you find that any of this to be helpful, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate you doing so. And if you are someone that's looking to go to South Korea, especially if you're a young man, you got your passport, you're looking to go to South Korea, you want to explore around the country, and you want my 8.5 years of experience all in one, I have a video package that I made that can help you to get what you need, tell you what you need to get, and to go through all the motions. So with that said, thank you so very much for looking at this. And if you are in South Korea right now, I hope this helps you out.